Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. What are we doing? So we're about to launch our Farside Moonlander, which is pretty exciting. And we did already launch the Locust B3, and then we are due for the Cicada. Oh right, I think we need to restaff some stuff here. Yeah, because the Hercules just finished, so we can unstaff that. Get the Cicada done in, looks like, April. Launch Cicada 1 with Doge inside. AKA the tourist. And that will get us some extra credit to help pay for this freaking thing. This astronaut complex upgrade is going to be so expensive. I don't even have enough balance right now to even fund it, so I'm probably going to wait about a month before I start paying for it. Once the Cicada's done, we should get most of our integration money back, which should be enough to pay for things. Goodness, that's such an expensive upgrade. I don't think I was prepared for that. And where are we at in terms of the programs, even? So crewed orbit, we still have plenty of time left. So I don't need to stress too hard. And then this is literally the final contract of my lunar exploration. So we're fine. I don't need a rush here. So sometime April, maybe in May, April/May, begin upgrading to IC3. And then that'll be great. And we'll figure out how long that upgrade's going to take, and then once that's done, we'll actually work on our first crewed orbit. Perfect. The grand plan is grand, and the Hercules can launch any time of day, so it might as well be now. Let's, let me just double check on a couple things. So Farside Lunar Lander, literally all we need to do. Lunar Orbiter and Mapper is still going and getting its video imaging too. And that's just a matter of time. So, yeah, that's nothing to worry about. Orbital test flight with animal crew we will do soon. Okay. All right, let's start out with launching the Hercules 2. By the way, this series is definitely not done. I have a really busy week coming up, so it might be a week before another episode comes out or so. So don't freak out and think that I've totally given up if this is the last one for a week or a week and a half. I am still going. I just have a lot going on, a couple, like 2 different trips, and a bunch of other things are going on, and so it might take a little bit for the next one. But that being said, let us go to the moon. I don't remember how to fly this thing. Did I take notes? A good Krydax always takes notes. Also, the order of these notes is not the same every time. I just realized that. That's so weird. Here it seems like they're in alphabetical order. But I'm pretty sure they weren't when I started up the game, because I had to go all the way to the right to get to the grand plan, and it was on ship notes, and it wasn't the next note. Interesting. There might be some sort of bug there. Anyway, Hercules LV, here we go. Odd staging 2.2. Yeah, there's all sorts of little changes. QT 10, 3600. And we need hot stage 2.2. Solids lead time. We have no solids. Booster is 100 and 0.3 degrees. Got it. Okay. And then I believe the last stage is 2 here. Gauge autopilot. Orbital inclination. Yeah, that's what I thought. We want 3.6 because that's the same as the moon. And then 2.3 is the ascending node, so that's all good to go. Everything's happy. Let's go ahead and quick save. And launch to LAN 11 hours from now. Right, I guess we don't get to pick the launch time. The moon gets to pick the launch time, as it were. Okay, T-minus 5, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, liftoff. Let's see, I want a smaller field of view here. Perfect. The nice thing about MechJeb is I can just sit here and take pictures, and I don't have to worry about any of that crap. Alright. So this has got 70 seconds left on this LR-87 stage. The AJ5s, which are awesome. I need to change the hyperwarp settings to be more accurate so we don't have any flubs due to hyperwarp. And then it tilts over. Oh yeah, I think, do we have Q penalty here? We do. It's down to 7, 6, 4. Are you kidding me? That? What the heck? The heckin' heck? Oh, jeez. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, come on. Does this not have verniers or something? What's going on? I thought this thing had vernier thrusters, but it has zero attitude control here. It's so bad. We're at negative 280 now. Shit. Well, that means we are not gonna be getting to the far side of the moon today. Man, that was so close. I can't believe it just did an engine shutdown like 2 seconds before. And that screwed up this thing being able to maintain attitude control. That's what happened there. Oh, these weren't... These aren't enabled, are they? If I had enabled these, that might have saved it. I mean, they wouldn't have had much power, but... Man. Yeah, I mean, the best I can do is that. And then it's gonna figure out how to... Well? Could we still be okay? No, probably not. I lost too much delta V. Because technically this should still get to orbit, but it's going to use some of the AJ... Yeah, never mind. This isn't going to work. I mean, I can get to orbit and collect some scan data from orbit, I guess. This can be... I don't know how to change this now. We could do an apoapsis of 50 million. There we go. So we can get to space high. Why not? Why not? We're changing the mission. Hercules 2 is now going to be an Earth orbit satellite. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened at that time. So, lesson learned is maybe we put a couple RCS thrusters on the bottom of... I don't even know. Because the control of the RDO 107 is so bad. Those verniers do so little that they can't really overtake the whole thing wanting to flip. Which is what just happened. Oh, that was rough. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward now. I think things are standard from here on out. Separation. Should be good to go here. This whole stage just burns normal. We are officially in space. Well, 30, 20, and 100 seconds left. And 70 seconds. 50 seconds. And 30 seconds. And then we should have a staging here for the next one. Go. We are a go with the old Agena XLR 81 BA11 configuration, and another 60 seconds of that burning should get us to a nice little orbit. 10 seconds left. And that's it. That is it. Well, I guess the last thing we can do is face this down from the sun. And then we'll call it a day. What a bummer. At least we got valuable data, so it's even less likely to fail the next time. Still can't believe that. But hey, you know, you're bound to get unlucky at some point. So why not now, I guess. Okay, I just want to make sure this is the right orientation regarding the sun, and it is. Perfect. Okay, well, now we've got ourselves a doodad that seems to not be collecting any science. I thought I'd put some tier 2 stuff in here, but I guess not. Maybe we decided it was too advanced. I don't know. So we're probably not going to get any additional data from this. Oh well, Hercules 2 is a bust. On to the Hercules 3. Oh, that's funny. Okay, recover that. And, I mean, I think we just need to build another one, right? So how long are we even burning these? I mean, we're not even going close. That's just crazy. I guess the reliability is not that high, to be fair. It is only 97.65%. And that's after gaining the failure data units. So it might have only been like 96.5%. So there's a 3 out of 100 chance that it fails within the 150 seconds, but we only burned it for 104 seconds. So it was like a 2% chance that we're talking about that it failed. And then obviously the chance that it fails as late as it did in the process is even lower. But whatever. Let's just simulate this just to make sure. No, we don't need to simulate. We know it works. All right, so the Hercules 3. Set text Hercules 3. Save in the Moon program. And launch at heavy satellite. How heavy is this thing, by the way? Oh, it is the full 120 tons. We maxing that baby out. Are there improvements we've researched recently? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there are. I don't think there's anything easy that I can change. So we shall just hit launch. And that delays us by a bit. No worries, we'll get to the far side of the moon eventually. Wait, what? Oh, because we're also building the cicada. Right. Okay, I guess we'll prioritize the... No, I think I want to prioritize the Hercules again. I could also hire some more engineers, but we're already poor, so maybe not. All right, let's time warp here. We're gonna get Advanced Capsules Era Materials Science done soon, and that's a pretty big one. So that's gonna unlock MLI wrapping, which means we can get liquid oxygen to the moon according to that. I don't know how much it slows the boil off, but it should slow the boil off. And then it also increases LC starting efficiency by 15% and maximum by 20%, which is pretty big. You know, if we're looking at our LCs, the range is 50 to 100, so that'll change the range to starting at 75 going to 120. Pretty strong. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I can't really do anything other than just time warp right now. Is this done yet? This is done. Perfect. Okay, so we'll go finish this contract. LC efficiency increases. So lunar orbiter and mapper. We can go finish this contract. And it is which object? It is the Locust 4, I think. Yes, that is the one. So we'll fly that bad boy, and that should finish our contract. Yep, there we go. Ta-da! Oh, he's so cute. I like this one. Oh, shoot. Well, hold on. We need to fix that. No. Go back. Go back. Because I loaded it and it was facing away from the sun, which is bad. We need to get it facing back towards the sun before we unload the vessel again. Because that resets. You know, Kerbalism knows the... Is there just an active vessel button? That would be kind of nice. I guess it's the top one here. But yeah, you can see the solar panel average exposure, which is locked in when you unload the vessel. So we'll get that back to 100% here. I don't know. Yeah, because we still haven't fit all of our data. There's still plenty more to get. 86%. 91%. 98.6, 99.3, and I guess 99.8 is the best we're gonna do. Even though they each say 100%. They are 25% worn out already. It's crazy. All right, now we can switch away to the Space Center. As long as rotation's off. I guess rotation doesn't even have to be off, technically. Okay, cool. So that contract is done, which should get us to... I could do another one. Wait, that's the same... I mean, it's basically the same thing. It's slightly more... It's kind of a weird contract, because I guess it would just be if you didn't get in a polar orbit. Because in a polar orbit, it's going to collect all of this eventually. But if you were in a non-polar orbit, maybe you'd need to launch a second vessel. We could still do this. We just wouldn't even need to make it so that it collects. We could just make any moon orbiter with the correct orbit and get this contract done if we wanted to. The landing and sample return is really enticing, but that's a whole nother can of worms because returning from the moon takes another 2500 delta V. So that's no joke. And it has to be, the final craft not only has to be able to land on the moon and be able to have 2500 delta V, but it also has to be able to have a heat shield that can return translunar, path, which is very hot, very fast. So, anyway, I think we are good to just time warp again a little bit here. And we will attempt the Hercules 3. Look at all our science. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of science. And I think it's time to start researching that guy. Astronaut complex. Yeah, we still have a positive balance. Although when I sick all of my staff onto making the cicada, we probably don't have a positive balance anymore, but it's not that bad. Yeah, and the cicada's almost done anyway. Okay, well, let's try Hercules 3. Let's see if we can land on the far side of the moon this time. Let's see how this goes. All right, start with a quick save. Open up our ascent guidance. 2. It has all the wrong numbers. Why does it have all the wrong numbers? Is it because I didn't simulate the Hercules 3? Maybe? So that's supposed to be 2.2. I don't actually know what... Is that supposed to be 55 or 60? Guess I hope for the best. Because according to our notes, that's supposed to be 100 and 0.3. Or just 0.3 works. Okay. Let's try this again. Go. Liftoff? We have liftoff. Alright, don't fail me now. Stupid LR-87. Let's try again. Let's try again. Okay, so time warp. quick save, just in case. Let me get a little bit of a flop over. Ignition penalty for Q is going down, but it's not too bad. 91, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we didn't roll a natural 1. Fail that. And I think we're good to go now. Jeez, that was pretty crazy. I mean, we're good to go assuming these don't fail. That has a failure chance, and so does the next engine, and so does the next engine. They all have failure chances. This one is almost guaranteed to not fail, though. I mean, look at that ignition chance. It's only basically 1 out of 1,000 times that one fails to ignite. And this one is 1.5 out of 100. And we need to ignite it twice, so it's non-zero. But anyway, we'll hyperwarp this, because we're going for a 185-second burn here. 120, 100, 60, 40, 30, 20, 10, and next stage. RCS needs to be on. So far, so good. Hyperwarp this. 200 more seconds. And 20. 100 seconds. 60 seconds. 20 and 10. We'll stop the hyperwarp. Looks just about right to me. Terminal RCS gets our eccentricity even a little bit lower. Not that it matters. 144 by 145 is just fine. Thank you, MechJeb. You have done your job well today. Now, next order of business is finding the moon. There it is. Set as target. 114 degrees is something like this, roughly. So then we make a node here. We say 3160 because we need to go a little further. And look at that. Found an encounter already. And that is the proper, like, we're gonna be here and then exit. So we need to, yeah, this is perfect. Because the far side of the moon right now is there. But by the time it's on that side of the Earth, it'll be away from us. So the far side of the moon is going to actually change. It will be more like right here. So then, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we want. And then we'll just lower it ever so slightly like this. Yeah, that should work. I think. It does say within 80 degrees. We can always play with it a little bit with RCS. Okay, well, the node is in T-1 hour, so I'm going to quick save, and then I don't know how much the liquid oxygen boil off is going to mess with us here, but let's just, without doing anything else, we can always quick load. Let's just execute next node and see what happens. 731. Okay, we've lost like 30 delta V to boil off. That's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not going to ruin our mission. Probably. He says, hoping that his engines don't fail, needing only 30 more delta V to land safely on the moon. Wouldn't that be a treat? Okay. Why was RCS off? I have no idea. I don't remember turning it off. Maybe I did turn it off. No, I did turn it off. That was on me. My bad. I turned it off because it was doing the finish our terminal RCS burn, and we were like, it's good enough. Okay, here we go. And I will just hit the space bar once when this is done burning. Should be good to go. Get a nice little screenshot there. 20 seconds. Stage for our Agena. T-minus 7 seconds. And ullage doesn't even matter, but it does even provide ullage automatically in that context, which is kind of nice. We're gonna have plenty of delta V. 1900, that's gonna leave us with 27. Yeah, we're gonna have more than enough delta V. So we'll just have to do that thing where we dial in the kind of, what's it called? Also, I should probably have auto strut to root part on those, just to make sure they don't get wibbly wobbly. But anyway, my point is we can basically suicide burn at the last possible second. We'll have plenty of delta V for that. So if this had more ignitions, I could even land with this thing, or at least get closer to landing with it, but we just don't have that many ignitions. All right, and there we have it. I'm gonna F5 before I touch anything. I'm gonna shut down the engine because I always accidentally activate it. I cannot seem to prevent myself from doing that. And now would be the point where I need a little bit of retrograde. So I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to hit the H key when we are facing retrograde. Hyperwarp to get there. Okay, and then hitting the H key should give us a little bit of retrograde velocity so that we can lower the periapsis down into the side of the moon within 80 degrees of the far side, which looks like about there. And that way we can bounce the signal off of our, whatever this one is, Cobalt 3. Okay. And then finally, our electric charge is probably fine for a little bit. I'm going to warp for like an hour or two. Let's turn those off for a minute. Just so that using the RCS doesn't modify our moon impact quite as much. I mean, we're even rotating so that we're charging once in a while, so we're really not losing that much charge here. Yeah, I'll warp a couple hours here. We'll go to like 3 hours. And then I can face down from the moon. Advanced sun, or did I say moon? Down from the sun is what I meant to say. And hopefully that's not going to mess with our landing site too much. Yeah, that's still where we want it. It is moving it a little bit, but not too bad. Okay. Kill rotation. Now I can quick save. We should be able to just get her done. Go ahead and time warp to our encounter. And whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, that was weird. It didn't, like, I just realized I wasn't paying attention to how that was going to rotate around. Interesting. That's not how I saw that going. Because I'm a dummy. Anyway, normally the time warp slows down when you enter an SOI. But yeah, okay, so all we gotta do now... It's weird the far side of the moon isn't opposite from Kerbal. So this as a landing site actually seems okay. But if it's not, we can modify it. So we'll add a maneuver. We don't really know exactly where it needs to be, but I'm just gonna add... that looks like it's inside the surface. You want it to be almost right at the surface, so this is really hard to get right. But I'm gonna start with it being there, and we're gonna do retrograde, negative 2150, I think it was. There's no orbit tool for zero out my velocity, unfortunately. Okay, so that is plan number uno. We're gonna... What am I gonna do? I'm gonna quick save. I'm gonna reactivate the engine. I'm gonna open the man plan. And at this point, we're just dialing in the node execution. And I can also open the landing... No, surface info. No, landing info. And that gives us a suicide burn countdown that might help us dial it in. Time to impact 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Node in 10 minutes, 15 seconds. That might be a little too late then. We need to start burning before we impact. I don't know much about suicide burns, but I'm pretty sure the burn has to start before impact. I am pretty confident about that. Yeah, right now our impact time is about 10 seconds. No. Stop. Abort node execution. Go 10 seconds sooner. And then 10 seconds sooner. And then execute that. Okay, let's see if that works. So that's 20 seconds sooner is the only thing I've changed. Ooh, we're gonna land in a dark spot? Suicide burn countdown 10 seconds. Yeah, we're about 10 seconds after the countdown. That's about right, because the suicide burn is really inaccurate. I don't know why. Like it's not taking into account basic rocket equation stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand why that's so off. But yeah, we're definitely going to be able to go a little bit later than this. This was me making it 20 seconds sooner. Oh, we didn't slow down enough, though. Interesting. Okay, so load save. It should just be the quick save at the bottom. 19, 21, 52. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong numbers. May 31st of May, 1921. Yeah, this was just a couple hours ago. And then we'll get this dialed in. So we said to take the node and go 20 seconds sooner, but then we're gonna go 5 seconds later. And it needed to be 400 more. Apparently I had this number wrong. 2550? Does that sound right? We had it in our notes, right? I think we did. 2540, Moon Suicide Burn DV. Okay, yep, never mind. I just forgot what the number was. Let's do 2540 then. And then we quick save again. And now we just hit execute next node, let it do its thing. Man, this mission is on such tight margins. I do have technically a couple hundred extra delta V, or only 160 extra. That's not very much. It's really not very much. Okay, so it's gonna orient the craft. Can speed that up a bit. And then it will time warp again. This time we'll get inside of the suicide burn countdown window, but even though it goes negative, it comes back into the positive because despite Mekja being so smart in some of these other widgets, the suicide burn one seems to be very inaccurate. And I don't get that. I think it's not taking into account the fact that acceleration gets higher. Like it's almost like this is just doing the basic math. And it's not actually using rocket equation like integrals. Which is weird though, because the other ones are. Now why is it only burning RCS? I never activated the engine. Oh, I thought because this was sitting here that I had. Well, that's gonna make it not work. Well, that's a cool artifact. Okay, anyway, activate engine. Then quick save. Then execute next node. And maybe this time. Maybe, baby. Alright. Use RCS to point correctly. Turn off hyperwarp. Wait, why is it still burning RCS? What's going on? Is that just a visual glitch? That was weird. Couldn't tell if that was just a visual glitch or it was actually burning that whole time. It wouldn't make sense. If it was burning that whole time, I would have been turning. But, alright, there we go. Here's a proper suicide burn. Still might be too early. We can always try it out. We also need the landing planner. Where's that? I guess I don't have it selected. Perfect. But yeah, we're at 5.7 kilometers, which might be a little much. Land somewhere. We want the touchdown speed to be 1.5 meters a second. Stop. This is so weird. It like, yeah, the auto warp on the landing guidance is really, really not optimal. Time to zoom out because of the volume problem. 400 meters, 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters, 50, 40, 30. Centimeters. And we have a safe landing, baby. Let's go. Heck yes. To the heck yes. That is a moon landing, if I've ever seen one. What is that? Is that just some galaxy in the distance? Anyway, good news, good news, good news. So now we just need to transmit science from the surface of the moon. So I will go ahead and shut down avionics. Go into the hibernate mode. And at this point, we are looking for that other craft be in a good spot to relay back to the planet. Like right around here it should. No? Uh-oh. Is this going to require a convoluted path where it hits Cobalt and then Locust? Oh dear. Oh no. I think I need to land... I'm willing to reload this too. This doesn't feel like a unserviceable mistake because it's really hard to simulate this sort of thing. So I'm counting this as a simulation because basically I think what we need to do is change it so that we land near the pole potentially. And that way, I mean, we basically need to land as far away from the far side of the moon as possible. And then it either needs to be along this equatorial line or along that locust 4 line. One of the two will work. But right now, we're kind of in a spot where we're just in the dark side completely. And it's not, they're not working out. But it's possible that over time... We had a charge? Yeah, we're at a charge. Okay, there we go. Why are we not getting the contract? Is this that thing where it requires a full science experiment? It wants to do the whole magnetic scan. I see. Okay, if we stop that and we start this, we do a forced run. Doesn't seem to work. Right, I have to activate this to be able to hit forced run. This is being annoying. How do I... Why can I not hit forced run? Even if I activate the avionics, it doesn't... Oh, because of input locks? Is it the combination of those two? No. Can part commander get me there? No, see, I think the problem is we can only tell it to change what it's doing when we have connection. It's weird because you can stop and start things without connection, but you can't force start something without connection. So what we need to do is time warp again until we have a good connection here. Okay, right there. So right now, oh, there we go. I guess the forced run did work? Okay, we did it. For what it's worth, yes, the forced run, I don't think the forced run worked. Maybe we just hadn't sent it yet. But anyway, we've got 984 bits per second during some number of months. And for me, that is good enough. And we're gonna call that a success. We'll probably have another satellite around the moon eventually, which will provide better coverage. Oh, right. I warped like half a month. The cicada's done. Sweet. The cicada's done, and right now our funding is actually positive, even though we're creating Astronaut Complex 3. Wonderful. Prototype Hydrolox engines are on the way. First RTGs are on the way. And then these are going to be great researches to have done, because then we can finally have improved RCS efficiency, fuel efficiency. And that really helps, because the generic engines are really nice for like fine-tuning orbits and stuff. So, very excited about that. And if we look at our available things here, we've got a lot of options for additional contracts. So obviously the best one is Farside Lunar Landing. Oh, well, sorry, the best one is returning a sample, but past that, we could just do another Farside Lunar Landing and get 315 reputation. Which, what was my math on that? Each one's worth about 500 funds. A little more than that over time, but in like 10 years it'll deliver 500 funds. Because my rep is still pretty low, to be honest. What would I get for completing? I get another 500. But I get more money by not doing that. So, at some point it probably is canceled out, but on top of that, this is actual money, not just funny money that only counts if you're spending it. This is taking up slots though, and if I want to take the next contract, I would need to get rid of it. But I think we'll probably do commercial next, if we get to it, that is. We might end the playthrough with crewed orbit, but this would probably be what I do next, and I can take this right now anyway, just to make a bunch more money. I have 2.5 years to do it. It's a good amount of money. Yeah. This feels pretty safe to take at breakneck. And then that really ups our budget to the point where I can hire, I think, those couple hundred researchers back again. Well, I guess I'll hire 100 more. Anyway, the cicada launch should be pretty simple. Why don't I quick save? And courage, mostly stupid. Best animal, tourist, 0. All right, let's do it. This is an exciting episode. Launching our first Doge into space, landing on the far side of the moon. All sorts of things. We have oxygen. Good to know. All right, Cicada's a pretty simple rocket. Just need to make sure we have the right settings on it. 155 was important. Booster 50.2. Yeah, it's all good. Last stage is 2. Early shut-off stage is 2. And with that, I can engage the autopilot. I can hit the quick save button. And in 3, 2, 1. Check yo staging. Oh, every time, man. Every time. This happened in my simulation too, and I forgot to change the staging. LOL. Alright, there we go. Try again. 3, 2, 1. Much better. Alright. And this one goes pretty much straight up because it needs that Q penalty to be... wait, no, sorry, it's not about Q penalty. It's about not burning up the crew. Which still feels weird to me. I feel like I'm missing something for how the original craft did it. Or the simulation's just not quite accurate in terms of heating. Because it's like, surely they didn't have that inefficient of a launch, did they? That they launched just straight up and then tilted over at the top? But trying to do a more efficient launch profile made this really not work. So it's possible that they had a slower, like a lower thrust to weight ratio. It could be possible that the SLT here is so high that that's what's causing the burn up, and their version didn't start going faster until later in the launch. In fact, here, let me pause this real quick. I'm gonna open up the old web browser and I'm gonna say Mercury capsule rocket. So Project Mercury, first crewed flight was Mercury Redstone 3. The launch mass, no, that doesn't sound right. Okay, the Redstone was only 30 tons? Oh man, we are way less efficient. What? It was only 30 tons? That's not fair. Mine weighs 60 tons. That's super not fair. What engine did it use? Mercury Redstone 2. I guess maybe different, because it's saying something about suborbital. Okay, the first one was MR3. Maybe I need to Google MR3 weight. Mercury redstone. 66,000 pounds, only 30 tons. Man. Well, clearly we're not doing something right. Because mine weighs 60 tons. Literally weighs twice as much as it's supposed to. Huh. I'm curious what's so different. I mean, it's probably the engine. I'm using a different engine, of course. But I'm using the RD-119. That's got to be more effective than the engine they were using. So I'm curious to look up what engines they used. Sorry, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now. Zooming out as I'm trying to scroll down. Super weird. Alright. Back to actually playing the game. What am I doing? I don't know. Everything seems to be nominal. Nothing burned up. Dog is still alive, I think. I really don't even know how we can kind of find out for sure. I guess we can see that the vitals are good to go. Turn on RCS. Yeah, because it's almost guaranteed that this is a more effective engine than what they used on the real one for second stage. So maybe their first stage was more efficient. Even then, 30 tons to my 60? It's a pretty huge difference. And I skimped on some of the mercury parts. Maybe these mercury parts are too heavy. This is heavier than it really was in real life. Maybe they didn't go into full orbit. Maybe that's it. Oh, Redstone didn't go into full orbit. It was just a suborbital flight. That's the difference. So they didn't need as much delta V. At least as far as I can tell. Total delta V. Performance. Mercury Redstone 3. Total delta V, only 5 kilometers a second. No, that's somebody's Juno New Origins craft. LOL. Okay. Well, anyway, I think that answers my question. I can't seem to get a straight answer on the delta V that the original craft had, but the answer seems to be that it was just a suborbital flight. So we could easily accomplish a suborbital flight for 30, but not for this. We need an orbital test flight. So we needed something more than the Mercury Redstone in this case. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna hyperwarp now. Hopefully, me talking about things from Wikipedia was somewhat interesting. Real rocket history. Which you guys know I don't care that much about, but I was intrigued why the real craft was twice as light as mine. When I'm using a Russian engine that they definitely didn't use, that's far more effective in terms of ISP. So that didn't make any sense to me, but yes, it's because they didn't actually go to orbit in the Mercury Redstone. All right, 10 seconds to burnout. Everything's looking nominal. And boom. We are in orbit. And we need to stay in orbit for 1 hour and 26 minutes. I'm going to quick save real quick. And then we shall loop around the dark side of the Earth. And then the light side of the Earth. And now we can return home safe whenever we want. Might do one more loop. Vitals should be okay, right? Yeah, we still have enough charge for 2 hours left. Okay. So now it's time to land. I guess if we're being reasonable, we want to land somewhere around home, which is probably going to be like... I haven't looked. Are we going to get about 1/4 of the way around the planet before we land? I'm going to guess we get about 1/4 of the way around the planet. So we'll retrofire right around here so that we're not too far from home. Okay, I'm going to quick save again. We're going to close this. We're going to smartass retrograde. Swing that booty around. And then I'm going to hit the spacebar. And I'm going to deafen all of the viewers on YouTube. Apologies. I even have a freaking compressor set up. Like, that's what's crazy. Oh. Oh, sorry guys. I have a compressor set up and it wasn't on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I set it up episodes ago and it probably hasn't ever been working for you guys. I literally set it up so that crap like that wouldn't happen, and then it was disabled in the OBS filters for some reason. I apologize. Okay, anyway, we need to go surface velocity minus. Doesn't seem to be working. Do I have to hit execute? Wait, is my RCS not working? My RCS isn't working. What's going on? Okay, hold on. Slow-mo. What's happening? Why? Do we have power? We have electric charge. We even have connection. I should be able to control the RCS of this thing. Why can I not? What is happening? Oh, is it just not activated? Oh. There we go. I wonder why... Huh. I never had to do that in the simulations. I wonder what was different. Maybe having the tourist in there changed something? I don't know. Anyway. This should be able to get us there slowly. There we go. All right. Looks pretty good. I'm just gonna turn it off at this point, and I'm gonna add some spin. Let's try spinning. That's a good trick. Not so much that the Doge borfs inside, but just a little bit to help stabilize. And then at this point, we can hyperwarp a bit longer. Oh, I never hit spacebar again. I think previously I had ejected that after the... That's probably what it was. After the slowdown, I ejected that. And this time I didn't. Okay. I will get down to 90 kilometers via hyperwarp, and then I'll slow down to normal speed. You can see gyroscopic precession happening here as it tries to find its way to retrograde. This thing's starting to heat up. Got a 1 meter a second atmospheric drag, so we're running into quite a bit of air with this thing. I am gonna apply some forces to try to get this middled. There. There we go. It's a little better. Because we don't want the Doge to die. Okay. Atmospheric drag is creeping up bit by bit. Slowing down our surface velocity. Kind of looks like an ice cream cone. The flying ice cream cone. That's actually really funny. Now that I've seen it like that, I can't unsee it. What flavor do you think it is? Strawberry? Kind of looks strawberry-ish. Maybe like a orange passion peach or something like that. We're up to 10 meters a second drag. Now things are starting to catch on fire. The dog is... well, we'll just say they're fine. I do wonder how you can turn the portraits back on, or if you can at all. Like, I feel like it might be a setting that I turned off somehow on accident. Is there a portraits setting somewhere? IVA interior view. Oh, use placeholder. Disable IVA but keep crew portraits. Oh, that's what it is. The funny thing is, like, when you have a bunch of crew, all the portraits are annoying, but if I just had one, I think I'd prefer to have the portrait. It is fun to see them there. In this case, I would want a picture of a little pup. A little pupper. Alright, let's see if we survive re-entry here. Up to 33 meters a second. Per second, of course. Of atmospheric drag. That's 3 Gs. We're up to 4 Gs now. Almost up to 5 Gs. Dog is currently smushed against a padded a padded surface. Dog is not enjoying it. Dog is now at 6 Gs. But dog is still okay. Seven Gs. Dog is maybe blacking out. I don't know how many Gs it takes for a dog to black out. Oh man, we're up to 8 Gs. Dog is losing consciousness. The dog will wake back up in a moment. 8.2 Gs. Test animal reaching G limit. I think that happened a while ago. I don't know, maybe dogs have a higher G limit than humans. I actually don't know. I guess I'm assuming their G limit would be lower, but maybe it's higher because of the square cube law and all that jazz. Oh, test animal lost consciousness. But they'll gain it back pretty soon because the G forces are dropping quickly now. So Sweet. Test animal regained consciousness. I'm gonna quick save it, and then we're just gonna hyperwarp down to the surface. And we had our first live organism, apart from maybe a piece of plant matter, to orbit and return to Earth safely. This dog will have never been so happy to see planet Earth. And just curious, how close did we get to the Space Center? Not very close. I think I slowed down around here. So we only make it about an 1/8 or a 10th of the way around the orbit on this version of re-entry. Alright, parachutes. Shouldn't be any failure with that. And we are landed. Beautiful. Just bouncing around in the water. Comical, but it works. Alright, stop bouncing, please. We did it! Yay! Alright, sweet. Contract complete. Recovered some funding, and we're on to the next one, which is... this one. First orbital flight crewed. So that one, it's literally the same contract, but we just need this to be finished so that we can train our crew. So that's still going to be a while. So let's jump into the grand plan, and then we'll call it an episode. So we're up to June now. We did all of that, and now we're looking at October. Begin training Eileen. Eileen is going to be Eileen G. Was it Gonzalez or Gomez? It's one of those two. Astronauts. Gonzalez. Eileen Gonzalez is going to be our first astronaut in space. She's very excited about it, but we can't start training her until we have the level 3. So that has to get done. So that'll begin in October. And then, I mean, I feel like between now and then, we probably want to work on designing. So maybe now we work on design. I don't even know, like, can we do all these contracts at once with one satellite again? There's so many. There's so many. U.S. tracking ships? What is this? Target is 95%. Wow. Ah, I see. Okay, these are a little trickier. The previous ones only needed, what was it, 10%? We can find out. It was 1%. Yikes. But we did have an availability of over 10% with just one satellite. So I'm hopeful that we can get these done with maybe like 3 satellites. Because with 3 satellites that can see each other, they can bounce between, you know, one to the next, back to the ground, and then you have a much more, like, it's connected all the time pretty much to almost everything. So I think sending 3 satellites into the proper orbit is going to be pretty good. They might need to be in an problem is the latitudes. The latitudes might be high enough, and if they are too high, we can then, so we've got the trio of satellites that are orbiting the planet, right? But then I could have 2 satellites that are polar, that are opposite from each other, and that way there's always one satellite. I guess, what about when those are both at the equator? I guess that's a pretty small period where everything's not working. But if we had like 2 polar satellites as well, then that could hit the high latitude stuff when the high latitude stuff is on the opposite end from our orbit. Because if our orbit's inclined at 30 degrees, there will be times where we're 30 degrees below the horizon, and the thing we want to look at is, 70 degrees or 50 degrees above the horizon, like Moscow. And then we're so far off that we would never see it. The other option is just a really far away equatorial orbit, which does cost more delta V to get into, but I can manage that. These contracts make me a lot of money over time, so I'm not scared of spending a decent amount. But yeah, we'll start work on designing that in the next episode, I think. If we're feeling it, or we'll just beeline it towards the Eileen situation. We'll see, but we're gonna call it an episode there. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.